Hello, everyone, and welcome to the final phase of the Global Dialogue for Justice 2020, a hybrid world forum launched on July 15 to raise awareness about the sufferings inflicted upon the innocent victims of repression, torture, rape, and the old and new forms of genocide. The global community must never remain complacent in the face of this kind of injustices perpetrated by the brutal leaders and their governments. As human beings, we are being challenged to step up, to speak louder, and act bolder in search for justice. We must refuse to stay silent.
Thanks, Dr. Merj. Hello, everyone, to the world. So my name is Hüseyin Demirtaş. I'm a former Turkish naval officer and a military diplomat. But now, this is very important and most precious for me that I am a human rights defender. In today's webinar, we are together with Dr. Merj Hemp, an academic, Dr. Bayram Erzurumluoglu, another academic as well, and Navy Captain Halis Tunc. We will talk about systematic torture as a genocidal tool, a traumatic tool of a neo-modern type of genocide, which I call Erdocide. In this episode of Global Dialogue for Justice Phases, you will hear from these very valuable individuals answers to some key questions about the characteristic of systematic torture under Erdogan's rule, pattern and purposes of torture, targeted groups of this systematic torture, and effect of torture to the society, to the Turkish society especially. We will see videos first of some victims and witnesses of this systematic torture, and then hear from our panelists. Sometimes I will talk in Turkish also, and we will have your questions in Turkish and English. We will have also a question and answers session at the end. So your English and Turkish questions are all welcome. We will give very clear answers to your questions about systematic torture and also genocidal crimes in Turkey. We will end the program with closing remarks of our panelists. But before closing remarks, also there will be a raffle. Dr. Merj will sign off on a global community engagement volunteer and a VIP pass for all 10 episodes of Beyond the Shadow of September series. First now, you will watch a video from a press conference and hear from a member of Turkish National Assembly, Mustafa Yeneroğlu, announcing some facts on torture under Erdogan's rule.
İşkence en adi suçlardan birisidir. Bir insanlık suçudur. Bir insan hangi suçu işlemiş olursa olsun, o kişiye işkence yapmak, insanlık onurunu ve şerefini ayaklar altına almaktır. Onursuz, insanlıktan yoksun bir davranıştır. İşkenceler ve kötü muameleler hız kesmeden devam etmektedir. Birleşmiş Milletler İşkence Özel Raportörü Nils Melzer bir açıklamasında Türkiye'de gözaltı merkezlerinde işkencenin bir politika haline geldiğini ve gaddarca yöntemlerin uygulandığını belirtiyor. Artık işkencenin ve kötü muamelenin sanki meşruymuş gibi çekinmeden yapıldığını, hatta bunun sosyal medya üzerinden paylaşıldığını görüyoruz. Geçtiğimiz hafta Uşak Emniyet Müdürlüğü'nde gözaltına alınan kadınların çıplak olarak arandıkları haberi basına yansıdı. Gözaltında çıplak arama, işkence ve kötü muamele yasağının açık ihlalidir.
Çırılçıplak bir bayansınız ve çırılçıplak soyunmanız isteniliyor. Çırılçıplak soyunuyorsunuz ve 3 kez otur kalk, yani bu çok çirkin bir davranış.
İşkence vakaları Türkiye'de ciddi manada artarak sistematik hale gelmekle kalmamış.
As you heard from the Member of Parliament, Mustafa Yeneroğlu, torture as a crime against humanity became systematic and the policy and the routine of Erdogan's bureaucracy. And even worse, became protected, which has a meaning of downfall of a legal state. So, Dr. Merj, what could be your comments on these systematic, routine, and protected torture in a 21st century's country? What would you say that?
So thank you so much, Colonel. It's hard to learn the truth and the facts about brutal methods and the tools inflicting immeasurable pain and sufferings as a policy in a country like Turkey in the 21st century. Even according to Nils Melzer, a United Nations special rapporteur, it's done without hesitation, even shared on social media. So you see, it's well documented, and it's known not only in Turkey but outside Turkey, and even organizations, the United Nations, the European Court of Human Rights, countries like Germany, Switzerland, the Netherlands, Belgium, France, the USA, UK. But there is this pervasiveness and persistence of complacency to act swiftly, to act decisively, and to act urgently to respond and save the innocent people who are victims of the heinous crimes. The response from the international community, for example, the journalists, policymakers, is almost non-existent. It's weak. And there's a huge gap between the urgency, the response to save innocent lives. And so what are the roadblocks to stopping the systematic torture and the tolerance of torture? I think it's bureaucracy is in the way, and much red tape that is happening. It takes years before cases are heard and acted upon, politicizing the pain and suffering of people, and never gets called out in the loudest and the strongest ways. And I think the cowardice of the challenge to punish the brutal dictators and regime, it's never there. So first, I believe that there is a point when the Turkish people themselves will unite collectively and demand for justice to end the brutality, and ask the global community to step up and to end the suffering of the innocent people who are being victims of the systematic torture. Thank you, Colonel.
Thank you, Dr. Merj. So you highlight especially the urgency, the reactions, urgency, and you highlighted something else. So dictators, they are not always alone. Actually, they are never alone. So bureaucracy supports them. And especially in the democracies, the votes, the people who are voting for their leader, so this makes the leader very open to become a dictator. So we need to control the strength also, the power. And the member of parliament, Mustafa Yeneroğlu, stated that the torture was protected. But we hear from the witnesses something other.